Hi guys, Nick here with BitGalaxis, bringing you a new video on 3D printing. Okay, if you've been subscribed to my channel, you know I typically cover game development topics like 3D modeling and programming. And my channel is still going to focus on game dev, but I wanted to share my initial experiences jumping into 3D printing because I believe the two subjects really complement each other in many ways. Just as an example, I printed out this ship model I've used in a few videos prior, and it's just cool to be able to bring it into reality and have something you can touch. It's fun. So why did I get into 3D printing? Well, I've had interest in 3D printing for quite a while, but eventually I actually had a few specific ideas that felt would be useful. And I had some friends approach me with some ideas that they wanted to try out. And so knowing that, it was just a combination of things. Like, all right, I'm going to finally jump in. I have some things I want to print. Now that I have one, I print a lot of different things. I've got wolves, pumpkins, parts for an invention, cable management, ships that I've made, models that I've made. And some of these things I've modeled myself, but a lot of others I've also taken from sites like Thingiverse and Fab365. I'm going to link to both in the comments, but generally speaking, you don't have to be good at making your own models to have things to print. There's thousands of free models online. So which printer did I buy and why did I buy it? Well, I bought the Prusa i3 MK3S. And the reason I chose this printer was mainly at the recommendation of friends. Generally though, it does have a good reputation. One friend, however, recommended I buy the kit so I would understand how it works. You can buy the Prusa pre-built, but since I've gone through that process, I would also highly recommend it if you feel comfortable with assembling something this complex. Just as a warning, I have experience building PCs, so I felt reasonably comfortable, but since I've never assembled a printer, I was very methodical. I've heard the average build time is about 8 hours, but my attempt clocked in at just over 13 hours in total. But overall, I've been extremely happy with it. There are a lot of new concepts I've learned since starting this hobby. To give an overly simplified explanation, 3D printing is using plastic filament to make several 2D plastic drawings that stack on top of each other, and the end result being a 3D shape. There are a lot of variables to consider when printing, like how hot different filaments need to be, but that would have to be another separate video because there's so much to cover. It really is hard to put all of this into one video. There's just so many things to go over. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to go over a lot of the details, but I would like to share some of my experiences, and here's a few examples of some issues I've had and had to learn to work around. So my first example is my original ship model that I showed at the beginning of the video. It really doesn't look well on the underside because the wings are elevated and it didn't include any structure to support them. There are actually programs called slicers that you'll need to convert your models into the printable code, and they include features aptly named supports that create these structures for you. But I really didn't understand them on this first print, so I didn't really get anything worked out on it. The second example is this wolf that I downloaded from Thingiverse. The design required lots of supports, and I really was trying to force myself to learn them. My initial problem was I had so much support material that I was unable to separate the supports from the model without leaving a huge mess or breaking the supports, and it really took me a while to figure out how to find a good balance there. So this last example is the N64 logo. This is my successful version. The models can have some overhang without needing supports, but on my first print, the legs started falling over before the bridge connected on them, so I have a bunch of little italic V's instead. I'll show a few more models I've made as we wrap up here, and hit that like button if you've enjoyed watching my journey into 3D printing. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.